ayah in 78 of the Quran translated the great news. This great news. Allah says, Amma a'udhu billahi min rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim, amma yatasa'alun anin naba'il azim الذي هم فيه مختلفون كلا سيعلمون ثم كلا سيعلمون ألم نجعل للأرض مهادا وجبال أوتادا وخلقناكم أزواجا وَجَعَلْنَا نَوْمَكُمْ سُبَاتًا. I'll stop there. Surely Allah speaks the truth. And concerning the great news, and one of the powerful things with languages, you and I speak English. Many of us. Some of us have studied Arabic, but sometimes we lose nuances in translation. So if I want to stress something to you in English, I may stretch it out. That is so bad. That is so good. You are so wrong. Place emphasis, right? So here Allah says, Amma yatasa'alun. He places emphasis on it. And yatasa'alun comes in the form of the verb that indicates it's something that we're going back and forth about. I'm asking you questions from sa'ala. Sa'ala means to ask questions. Yatasa'alun means you're asking each other questions. That's why it says that's which they're disputing about. That which they're differing about. Anin naba'il azim, about the great news. Alladhi hum fihi mukhtalifun. About it, there's great differences. You have scientists coming out talking about spiritualism, talking about life after death. And because they're scientists, they're perceived to be able to answer questions about life after death. But God says, Kalla saya'lamun. Soon will you know. Thumma kalla saya'lamun. Again, you will know. Then he asks you a question. If you're doubting life after death, Alam naj'alil arda mihada. Now, sometimes if you're disputing with me and I want to bring something to your attention, I may say, just something very simple. Did you consider this? Did you consider that? So this is what is happening linguistically in the Arabic. It's a fatha. It's a question. Istifham. It's an interrogatory question. Istifham means it's going to stimulate your intellect. You have to think about it. God asks you questions not because he doesn't know them. He asks you questions to make you think about them. So this is very beautiful. Alam naj'al lil ardi mihada. Lil arda mahada. Did we not make mihada? Did we not make the earth a wide expanse? How long has the earth been here? How many forms of life has the earth sustained before you were even thought about? Isn't that what Allah says in the Quran? Hasn't there been over man a long period of time where he was nothing, not even thought about? Min ad-dahr. And just look at all the species of life on the earth. You may be the most evolved. You may be the one that God has a special plan for. He gave you the vicegerency. He gave you the control over the earth. But there's many other forms of life on the earth. Alam naj'al al-ardi arda mihada. Haven't we made the earth a wide expanse? Now we know more about the earth. We know the earth has layers. It goes all the way down to the core. We know that the earth has a molten layer in it that's just liquid rock. Not only do we know this part of the earth, we also know that there's different levels to the atmosphere. Right? And we also know that there's a protection around the earth that protects us from ultraviolet light. We also know that the earth is the only planet like itself in the area. It's the only one. Now Allah was communicating all of that 1400 years ago when people were doubting God's ability to bring life from the dead or to bring you back to life the second time. He's saying my creation of the earth is a bigger thing than bringing you back to life after I cause you to die. Allahu Akbar. It's a bigger thing. And now we know the earth and its complexities. And as we look at its complexities 1400 years later, we said, man, this was a powerful statement. 1400 years ago, it was stated, and you and I are still evolving into the understanding of it right now, 2017. وَجِبَالَ أَوْتَادًا. And haven't we placed in it mountains? And you know how mountains form when the plates would crash against each other, and formations will go up and down. Right? Now it used the word a peg. It used the word a peg. 1400 years ago. It says, haven't we made the mountains as pegs? You think about a peg. What does a peg do? A peg goes up and a peg goes down. And we know that mountains go up and mountains go down. And we know mountains are extremely important for stabilizing the atmosphere and environment. Right? So God is telling us, listen, haven't I made the earth a wide expanse before you even came on the scene? Didn't I put mountains all over? Our whole goal is to climb the highest mountain. To climb the physical highest mountain. To God, that's nothing. He put the mountain there. The logic that supports that mountain. وَخَلَقْنَاكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا. And didn't we make you mates? Male and female. That's how we bring about life. Right? You have to have both. I don't care what the world tells you. To bring life, you have to have both male and female in the human context. And the more and more we learn, the more and more we realize that the male is not like the female. But Allah is saying, and I made you mates, and that's how you bring about life. So if I made you mates, and I made you a system that gave you life the first time, that's bigger than me bringing you back to life after you passed. وَجَعَلْنَا نَوْمَكُمْ سُبَاتًا. need for you rest. You go to sleep every night, right? And do you know we're just 1400 years old? We're barely now starting to understand everything sleep does for you. And regulating your system, regulating your body, regulating your hormones that govern your body. How essential sleep is to your rest. But God is also telling you something else. You lose complete consciousness. And you're not controlling anything, are you? When you're asleep, you're not controlling anything. Your subconscious mind is controlling it. If your conscious mind had to try to control it, you would die. It's too much for your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind. So Allah is saying, look at your sleep. The fact that I let you go to sleep every night and bring you back to conscious every morning, over and over and over again, is a sign to you. Brothers and sisters, if you and I would just look for the miracles Allah has already done, we could see the marvelous works in His creation. And look at yourself, because you and I are one of God's biggest miracles. Figurative, literally, meaning biological, and figuratively, meaning our lives were completely taken from us. Every expression of dignity was taken from us. Islam was taken from us. And we were written off as a possibility to ever be a productive human being. So we are really already we're already living life after death. If you really understand it, we're living in life after death. And this is a big sign for us that there's physical life after death. Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulihil Kareem Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajma'ina amma ba'd. Dear beloved Muslims, as we conclude today, I want to remind us of what Allah says in chapter 2 of the Quran, verse 156. 155 and 156, 157. وَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَأَنفُسِ وَثَمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الذين أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. Be sure we will test you with something of fear and hunger, some loss of goods and lives, and the fruits of your struggle. But give tidings to those who patiently persevere. For sisters, life can be testing. It can try us. Fear, hunger, death. These things test us. They test our perception. They test